Welcome to In the Box. We're going to have a great deal of fun with this. It's a new venture, but I feel like it's going to be super successful. How can it go wrong? We've worked really hard. I've got a great partner here, my co-host.
This is Mike Miller.
Mike Miller and I have been kicking around the softball diamonds for, I don't know, how long has it been, Mike?
Oh, God, it's what, 15 years? It's been a while.
It's been a good run. And now as we look at what we could do to work with the sport and have fun in the sport, I thought, why not, right? Create an experience that people can enjoy, people can interact with, people can participate in, and we want to do it for the softball community. So super excited. Welcome to episode number 1. This is, just like I said, a new venture for us. But we are going to work really hard to make sure that you enjoy this. Thanks for watching.
You know, we really wanted to share the story of the 2022 class. It was a class that was very special to Ed and to me, and there was a lot of hard work that went into that. And I think we just kind of wanted to share the story of how that summer of 2020 went.
No, I agree, Mike. For us, you know, we knew it was a good class. And I really loved that team. If we could have taken any team, I've always told them this, if I had to take a team through that experience, this was the team to take through. They were committed. They loved each other. They played hard. And, you know, early on, it was really about making sure that from a program perspective, from a softball perspective, that we did everything we could. And I really loved the things that you did for them. You know, I gave you the good stuff, right? The fun stuff to work on. I gave him AGL and social media. He had to build a Twitter following for us. And Jay did a great job. But AGL, how was that?
You know, if you remember, I mean, the 2020 and the pandemic, it just all got kind of dropped on us just, you know, right there, you know, before we were getting ready to start our summer season. And I remember you and I talking, you know, we spent a lot of time on the phone talking about, you know, we've got to figure out a way to help these 2022 kids. They're in that window. You know, we need to get these kids committed. And, you know, how are we going to do that if we can't go play where we normally play? And we're not, you know, the uncertainty of whether we're even going to be able to play or not. You know, we had to figure something out. And I think, you know, you mentioned social media. I think that, you know, that was, you know, right off the bat, we knew that it was going to have to play a role in what we were doing. But AGL was a product that was, you know, fairly new to the market. And, you know, I think they were kind of in the beginning stages of really getting their streaming set up. And, you know, we just kind of said, we got to go and we got to do this now. You know, we've got to be able to film these kids in case we walk into this summer and the college coaches have no way to come watch us play. And that was a good gamble for us because that's exactly what happened. You know, we weren't able to have those college coaches behind the fence like we normally do. And, you know, we had every game live streamed. And it was rough. You know, I don't think AGL was quite ready for the reception that they got from a lot of the teams that were using their service. You know, I think they were maybe a year away.
Yeah, through no fault of their own.
Right.
Honestly, no one could have been predicted, you know, the challenges that we're all going to deal with.
Yeah,
but it was certainly a great innovation.
No question. And to their credit, you know, I know that they put a lot of hours trying to accommodate teams like ours that were trying to do the things that we did. And, you know, I think we really pioneered, you know, what is becoming a lot more mainstream in the recruiting world today during that summer of 2020.
Yeah, there was some standards that I thought we tried to create for us. We didn't want to tell the story specifically of each team and all of our players, and that was hard work. But it was work well done, I thought. We did post-game interviews. Remember Jade running around and doing post-game interviews? That was Jade Miller working hard, and Mike was really building our Twitter following. And coaches were watching. They watched our practices. They watched our games. And they specifically, you know, started to watch individual players. So in an environment where nobody had an opportunity to watch us play, through a lot of hard work of a lot of great family members and a lot of people behind the scenes, I thought we gave our kids the best chance we could. It could have been easy just to write it off. It could have been easy to say, it's going to be tough this year, but I thought we dug in. And honestly, from my perspective with this team, they deserved it. They deserved to build a following. They deserved to have their dreams come true. And I told them that from the beginning, that dreams will come true for them. But that's just a promise. But I thought our actions fulfilled that. I was super proud of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I remember, being on the phone with you late one night and saying, what are we going to do, man? And, I think the solution that we came up with is it's going to be a lot of hard work, and but we owe it to these kids. And,
right.
I'll never forget those nights that, me and you and Jade, spending 17, 18 hours at the ball fields.
Yeah.
It was a grind, but, it was all worth it.
Early on in the recruiting process, when we're talking to college coaches, a lot of them said, hey, it's great. Love watching you guys play. We're going to have to wait till we go out, after COVID's over to really do some things for your kids. That was early June. That was early July. And then we started to push a little harder saying, hey, you can wait. Others aren't. And just, trying to be in all kindness, let people know that the market is shifting. That these are kids that were not unknowns. They had done a great job before COVID. They had a great fall. They were sensational in the fall. And now as they carry it over the summer, could we get to a place where people were getting opportunities without a college coach behind the backstop, right? That was the aha. Seriously, we're going to be able to do that? That sounds really hard.
Yeah, I think the unknown for us was, is this going to work? Or are the colleges just going to say, we're just going to take this summer off?
That's right.
Is it going to work? And I'll never forget, and I don't know, I can't remember who this was. You might remember, but there was a college coach that I remember was telling you about a conversation that she had with her AD, and she was saying, look at the stuff that this club team is doing. Look at this stuff. This is better than what we're doing here at the Division I level. And, I think it was that, that dedication, that campaign, that those campaigns that we were running that really set us apart. Because if you remember, there were a lot of other clubs that, kind of tried to get on that same kind of trail that we were on throughout the course of the summer. And I don't think anybody really did it like we did.
Well, it's hard. I talk a lot about it, and I think you just got to put yourself out there sometimes. And we invested some resources to do that. We had still pictures, we had GIFs. Or GIFs, I don't know what they're called, but they're one or the other, spelled the same. And the kids loved it. And the kids felt special, having that opportunity, doing a photo shoot. And that's become a norm. But in the summer of 2020, that wasn't normal. And I think over time, our girls dug in and they're like, we can do this, coach. We're gonna blow up Twitter. It didn't matter what we posted. Bang, retweet, like, share, rinse and repeat.
And even on the field, they knew, when they hit one out, they knew as I'm rounding second base, I'm looking for Jade. Where's Jade with the camera? And we got all kinds of great content, from those games. That was fun.
Yeah, that was amazing. I remember the first trip out, we're at Tulsa Elite, and we got Nick out there videoing, and the umpire's like, "You can't do that," and we're like, "Not sure about that." Well, he's not going to be able to be on the field. I said, "Really, we kind of need him to be on the field," and we walked the umpire back. It took him maybe an inning and a half. We didn't get a couple strikes, and we had a couple really bad calls for a while. But over time, he's like, "Yeah, you guys are just filming so the people can watch them." I said, "Yeah, that's all it's about."
Yeah, there was a great, somebody got a great shot of me. Ryan Allen had gotten us, he and I, both pairs of the Wild Thing glasses from Major League. So I'm standing there wearing the Wild Thing glasses, and I'm setting up the streaming equipment, and there just happened to be a sign right behind me that said "No streaming allowed." And somebody snapped a picture of that. Pretty fun.
And I think, even talking to, Flow Softball, they understood after a while. They understood because, we didn't want to restrict their rights to have the footage, but we needed it for ourselves. We needed to be able to cut and slice and use it down, for our players. And that, I thought that was important. And I think that's really transitioned us as we move forward, that having the content is one thing, but using it in a relevant way is more important.
Yeah, and I think that was something that was so special about that summer, is that we all, as a culture, as a sport, we all came together and tried to work together and do the best that we could for the kids.
Right.
And it was that one summer where it really, really felt truly all about them, no matter what. They came first, no matter what. And kudos to to Flo and AGL and everybody that was involved. It was because it was more important to help those kids, through that time than anything else.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you take it all the way back. COVID hits. It didn't take too long. From March to early April that we're quarantined. Schools are closed. A lot of things are happening that, man, there's no way we could have been prepared for that.
And we weren't?
No, there's zero chance. And I remember, starting to get calls from Kevin Shelton mid-April that, hey, there's some dialogue being had right now. And talking about giving our kids a chance to play locally, minimize travel, minimize expenses, because there was a lot of uncertainty. And it was really thoughtful that was happening. I was on the other side of the fence. I'm like, I got this great team. I want them to go to Colorado. I want them to play in California. I want them to go to PGF. I want them to experience that. I want them to play all the top teams in the country. But about mid-May, after we're having our weekly Zoom calls, it got to a point where I got to tell them that, we're going to have to tell them we're not going to travel out of state. Oklahoma, I guess, is part of Texas. But we weren't going to travel far, and we were going to be safe about it. But I worried about that day. I really struggled with that. But our kids and our families responded. They understood. And to the credit of the guys who are behind the scenes, all that group, they put something together that gave our kids a chance to play. But I do agree with you. There was a lot of spirit that summer just to go compete and be respectful about it. There was as it turns out, there was a lot of talent in that age group, that 16U division. We were loaded that year, especially in Texas. Bombers had Burgess's team. They could go a bunch.
They were fantastic, yeah.
Joe Torres and the Bombers, that's another good one. The Hot Shots.
Hot Shots were incredible.
Are you kidding?
They were incredible.
Are you kidding? They were on a delayed steal at first base. With the ball in the catcher's hand, they're trying to get picked. That's not right.
Yeah.
They could run.
They were special.
And they could hit a little too.
Yeah, they could.
Impact Gold, Blaze. I thought Blaze, man.
Yeah.
A lot of great teams. And I think really that's what I did enjoy is like win or lose, we're trying to do the right thing. And it was bigger than just softball. It was about giving the kids a chance. And I'm super excited that it worked out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, it was a leap, I think, and I'm glad it worked out. We like I said earlier, we took a big gamble on a lot of that stuff, and I think it worked out pretty well for everybody.
It did. Yeah. It did. I'd like to take the time now to say some kind words about one of our sponsors. We're here at Brothers Pizza in McKinney. If you want pizza, pasta, or refreshing ice-cold Coca-Cola drinks, you're coming to the right place. Doc Fernici's been a great friend of mine. Can you imagine he lets us in here? The oven's still warm. Dude, we could make pizza. I wouldn't make it as good as him. What's your favorite pizza?
I'm kind of just a classic pepperoni guy myself. Maybe some jalapenos. I like jalapenos on my pizza. What about you?
I mean, I got a lot of favorites, so I'll just kind of run them down. I like pepperoni. I like mushroom. I like one thing I really like now. I just tried it. I retried it. I like what's those little fish?
Oh, sardines? Or no, anchovies.
Anchovies.
So the real question is, pineapple, yes or no?
That has historically been a dead no. That's like you're ruining a pepperoni pizza, right? Or you throw bacon on it. I don't know what you do. Just get rid of the pepper. Why would you want something sweet and something like so hot?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm not a fan of the pepper or the pineapple. But yeah, the pizza here is fantastic.
It's it, Brothers Pizza, man. You'll get yourself down here now.
Yeah, we've been coming here a long time.
We have. I've eaten like everything in this menu.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
Calamari and clams, delicious.
BrothersPizzaPasta.com.
And get yourself a Coca-Cola product to go with it. It pairs really well with pizza and pasta. But yeah, shout out to Doc Vernici, good friend of mine, giving us a run of the place. Can you imagine? Is he crazy?
Big shout out to Doc.
Thank you, Doc. Thanks to the Albanian community. Love you guys. Much love.
So speaking of the 2022 class.
Hi, I'm Macy Graff. I'm committed to Mississippi State University. I'm a 2022 and I play utility.
Hi, my name is Hayden Sokolowski. I'm a 22 utility player and I'm committed to Oklahoma State.
Hi, I'm Carmen Bass. I'm a 22. I'm a catcher and I'm going to Texas State University.
Hi, I'm Riley Crandall. I'm a pitcher. I'm a 2022 and I'm committed to Baylor University.
Hi, my name is Cindy Lewis. I am a 2022 first baseman hitter and I'm going to the University of Maryland.
Those are some of the key players of one of the most exceptional classes we've ever had. Love them to death. Love them to death. Thank you for joining In the Box, episode 1, baby. What do you think, Mike? What should we ask these guys?
Well, let's start with Macy. We're talking about the famous 2020 season. Just been kind of talking about how crazy it was, how scary it was for all of us that we were going to struggle to help you guys achieve your dream of playing college softball. What did you think about that season?
The 2020 season that we had that was taken away from us, it really took a toll on me mentally and physically. Not being able to play was hard on my body and my mind for sure. Not being with the team, I wasn't sure what was going to happen when we came back. And with all the unknowns, we were really stuck in the middle of nowhere, not knowing anything, with colleges, with college recruitment coming up that next September, all of us that were uncommitted still had no way to talk with the colleges because we couldn't play. And so it was very mentally draining on our just everything.
Yeah, Mace, I think about all those Zoom calls, right, as we got ready. We were in quarantine. We didn't even know our schedule. We didn't know if we were going to get a chance to play. How did you prepare for that? And how did you feel as you got, started to move towards that season, right? Because it's a big summer. It's a big summer.
Over quarantine, we did have Zoom calls every week, and with multiple special guests we had in, with Sean Larkin coming in to help us mentally and physically. He would help us with our mind game, and he told us that our game is 95% mental and 5% physical. So understanding that I will play better if I think that I'm going to play better, it helped a lot with me overcoming just some anomalies of not having, say, a positive mindset, because I'm very doubtful on myself, being a perfectionist, and it just really helped me mentally get control of the game. By not knowing our schedule, it was so hard. I had no idea what schools were even interested in the slightest with me. Practices, we couldn't really practice, so me and my dad would go to the local field. We would hit, do grounders. I would try my best to stay in shape, to be in a team environment without being with the team. So being online, everybody was connected virtually. We would have a partner online, and we'd be accountable to make sure they finished the workouts, or they were reaching out, making sure everyone was staying connected so we didn't lose that bond that we had that was very special for us. Preparing for that summer, I worked out every day. I woke up at 6 a.m. I was in the best physical shape I've ever been in. And it folded all back to that mental side. By having a positive mental aspect and mindset, my physical body was just ready to grind and ready for the drive. Good. Hayden Sokolowski, you were our only commit at the time. How did that feel, and how did you stay engaged with COVID and all the changes that happened?
Being the only commit at the time really made me believe in myself and the things that I was able to accomplish on my own, because I only had myself during quarantine to really work. And it was just more of like looking back and see what I can do for myself and how I'm able to continue growing. And I also feel like being the only commit really helped me become a leader, because since I was done, I still had to stay in shape. I couldn't lay off and not show that I work anymore. So I really had to really push myself in that time.
Perfect. Ms. Carmen Bass, how did you feel about the preparation for that season, and how did the summer? How do you feel that went for you?
It was hard, but it was so worth it. I hit every single day. I went out field every day. I threw every day. My dad, we worked on getting my release time faster, worked on getting my hands faster. It was just a summer of getting better.
Well, I thought you did that.
Oh,
I thought
thank
you did
you.
that in big ways.
Thank you.
I thought offensively you grew a lot, right? I mean, what a summer you had, and you carried that team yourself. And how close are you now with Savannah Williams?
I love Savvy. I talk to her all the time. She's just an amazing person, amazing pitcher. She can do amazing things.
So Riley Crandall, Ed and I were actually just talking about Doug and what he meant to our team, and just thought you're the pitcher on the call. If you could maybe share a few words about how he impacted your life that year, and what he meant to you.
Yeah. Doug Gorsuch was one of a kind. He touched everyone's hearts in that one single season that he was with us, and Maribeth was with us. Them together is just so special, and I learned so much from him, not only about softball, but as a person and how to respond in situations. He was just amazing. He made you laugh, but he also held you accountable. He's a serious guy when it came to softball, and he was just amazing. And I think that his legacy is living through Maribeth.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
No, he's a special man. I'm glad we had that moment with him, honestly, because you think about it, it was a very short window. was a very short window. We probably had him for a month with that team, and what a difference he made. And yeah, it's amazing. Offensively, Riley, you had a bunch of big swings for us. I feel like you pitch better when you hit. Do you have the same opinion?
I definitely try my best. I don't really know if it's when I pitch, if I hit better necessarily, but I do try my best every time. And the outcome, it is what it is. So
It's a big ask to hit and pitch at the level you're at. So I know you'll keep working, and I know Baylor's excited to have you. And I think that was one of the big pushes for them, that you could contribute, both sides of the plate, obviously as a pitcher, but that you had the ability to help them offensively. And I think that, I like Coach is going to stay consistent with that. I think Coach Moore is looking forward to that, and excited to see how you do in Waco, right?
I'm really excited to move on to the next chapter at Baylor. Their family environment is super good, and I can't wait to work with all the coaches and the team. They're just amazing people, and it's a great school.
Sydney Lewis, batting fourth. I always told you were the heart and soul of that team, and I don't think that's changed. When you found out that we weren't going to travel to Colorado, and we weren't going to travel to PGF, and we weren't going to really do a lot of the things that we've, for all these years, have taken for granted, what were your thoughts? And how'd you overcome some doubt? Because I think for you, it's always been, you got to carry not only yourself, but the team on your shoulders. How did you do that?
I think whenever we figured out the news, we weren't going to be traveling all over the country like a lot of us have been for a lot of years, it kind of, obviously it was really upsetting, but I kind of took it as an opportunity to grasp an entirely different mentality with this sport. We aren't going to be playing teams outside of Texas, and it was really hard, but just staying within ourselves, I just wanted to do what was best for the team always. And I've always had that mindset that I want to make the people around me better, and I want to allow people to make me better, because obviously we're all not the best at certain things in this sport. And so I think that's what was so good about this team, is that we all helped each other in certain aspects of the game.
I remember just a bunch of clutch hits and a bunch of big home runs. But in the end, I just remember your voice in the dugout, right? Just cheering everybody on. And I think everybody really remembers, not just you cheering, but the entire program cheering for this team. I mean, we wanted you guys to be successful. And I feel like we had a wonderful summer. How has that summer changed you? Macy, you talked a little bit about self-doubt. You don't have any anymore. So how do you feel about that summer, and how do you feel about your future, and what are the things that you've learned?
Over that summer, I was taken over a lot by self-doubt, creating that strong mental game over the Zoom meetings, and understanding that failure is how you succeed. You can't succeed in life without failing a couple times. Nobody's perfect. We're human. It's just what's going to happen. Talking about self-doubt and understanding that to be a really good player, you have to be confident in your game. And if you fail or make a mistake, you can get past it. You screw up, it's in the past. You can't change the past. And just understanding that there's always tomorrow. I can always get better. And just overcoming that failure is the way you succeed. It really helped me, and it helped me become a confident ball player on the field.
So how excited are you guys to go off to college? We're, 6 months away? You guys are going to be all heading off. You guys ready for that? Hayden, what do you think?
I am so ready to go to college. I have been waiting for a couple of years now, because I committed in 8th grade. So it's been a while since I've known where I've wanted to go for a while. But being this close to almost going to college and being done with glory and high school and all this has really made me think about enjoying every moment, because like everyone says, it goes by so fast. I remember at one of the glory functions we did at the beginning of the year, get to meet the player, all the alums were standing up on the stage, and I was like, oh, I can't wait for that to be me. I can't wait to go into college, and we're about to be the alums. So that's something that has been hitting me pretty hard recently because season for high school is almost over, and now Glory is very close to being over. So I'm trying to enjoy every minute I can, but I am extremely excited to go up to Stillwater.
Carmen Bass, what are your thoughts?
I'm so ready to go to Texas State. I'm ready to be home. I just love it so much.
Remember, Coach would talk to me, and she's like, I know this kid wants to play for us. I said, you're correct.
Yes, I love it.
And she's like, well, we've got these other needs, but she really wants to play for us, right? I said, once again, you're absolutely correct. And I'm glad that worked out, right?
Yeah.
You'd go to Texas State over anywhere else, right? I have a suspicion you would.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
The number one.
There you go. There you go. It's interesting that worked out, too. Like, for Jody Epperson, when I could get her to tell me that she's like, all right, which team you want to play for? She was all about it. She would sneak in North Texas.
Yeah.
I said, which one's your number one? North Texas. Done. We're going to work on it. Yeah. And, you know, that happens too, right? And I really do feel when I look forward that you guys are going to schools where you can make a difference, where you fit in really well, and I'm excited to what the 22 class is going to get done. Sydney Lewis, you're going the furthest. Your mom and dad are going to be okay with that?
I'm sure like my parents would say like, oh, like we're going to be fine. But I know my mom is going to be like hysterical. But I know they're really excited for me. They wanted me to go somewhere where I was truly wanted. And like Maryland was where I felt the most wanted. And I couldn't be more excited. I know it's really far, but I'm just excited to be there to compete, rebuild this program with Coach Montgomery. But I'm sure my parents will be fine with my brother. So.
I always reflect, and you guys could tell me, I mean, I'm sure you're watching our 21s, but I think, you know, quietly, we needed them too. Who was your favorite 2021 on the team? Which one do you keep closest with?
For me personally, I keep up with the UNT girls. So you got Skylar Savage pitching for them, and Sierra Simon. She's leading off and playing in the infield or outfield, wherever they need her. And it's just watching them play, it's really incredible because that just means next year it's going to be me and the girls underneath us are going to be like, wow, I know them too. It's so cool to see all my friends on TV.
Here's a funny story with Lauren Garcia and Sid. Sid will remember this one. This is back in the good old days in the fall when we were actually playing in front of coaches. We're at Texas, University of Texas. Remember Sid? And we were playing in the fall, and Sid and Lauren decide to go on a 0 for 10 bender, and they can't get on base. So after like the third scrimmage, I walk up to both of them. I said, neither of you are going to play first until you get a hit. So Sid, what did you do after that?
I hit a home run.
And then Lauren hit one off the fence, right? And we went back to our defensive rotation. Sid and Lauren got to play defense. Imagine that. Yeah. If you could talk to anybody, that kid in 2020 that was trying to get recruited and didn't know if it was going to happen, or the kids in the 24 and 25 class, what would you tell them? What would you tell them right now? Mace, let me know what you would tell yourself and all the people in front of you now that are trying to get to where you've gotten.
For the younger class, I would definitely tell them, take it in. It's not going to be forever. Softball is just a game. It's not who we are. Respect yourself. Respect your team. You can't trust yourself. What makes you think your team can trust you back? And understanding who you are as an individual. Don't try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes because you're never going to be them. Be the best you that you can be. And the process, it will not be fun. You're going to be stressed out. Just relax. We have a lot of help for Glory, and just know that there's a lot of people at your disposal. You have upperclassmen, coaching staff, and even recruiters to help you get through your process. And even if you're stressed out, not regarding your recruitment, everyone's here for you, and everyone wants the best for you.
Thank you, Mace. Hayden, I feel like you really grew in that space, you know, where a big swing, a big out, and a big tournament. It doesn't matter. It's just, to me, it's part of the process of growing, because then you make adjustments, right? And you do what you need to do to try to be more successful in the next experience. And I've seen that from all of our players, and especially our some of our big time kids. You know, the kids we face, they can go too, right? You know, they can play too. And, you know, making those adjustments and getting to that next place is big. When you first started on the junior national team, we talked a little bit about it, right? And then it was really, you got to be able to put them on the bench, right? And they're your friends. What do you think has prepared you to be able to do that?
First off, making the junior national team was an extremely big accomplishment. I wasn't really thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to make this team, or if I was even going to be on the team, because they're all much older than me. But for me making that team, it really made me realize how good of a player I am and how the potential I have. And it made me realize I am as good as these other girls playing, these girls that are about to go to college or in college. I am as good. I can play with them. And it made me have almost like reassurance of myself, because I believe in myself now, and I'm hitting and I'm able to start on the field. And then it really also made me think about how, since this is a game of failure, everyone fails, and it's just to relax. Like, if I don't get a hit, that's okay. It'll happen. And it's just really taking it all back and just living in the moment and being thankful for what we have and what we're able to do.
Carmen, why is Texas State home?
Texas State is home because when I walked on campus, it felt like this is where I need to be. This is where I'm going to make a difference. The girls already feel like they make me feel like I'm a part of their family. They make me feel loved. They make me feel like they're my best friends already. Coach Woodard is like my second mom, like legitimately like my second mom. So yeah, that's why it's home. I just love it so much.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Coach is awesome. There's no question. Well,
Yeah.
I expect you to be another big time player for us there at San Marcos. You know, you go get it done.
I'll try my best to.
We've had Bailey Carter there.
Yes, I know.
And we had Ariel Ortiz there. It's all right.
Everyone.
You'll be the best catcher we ever sent.
Thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Riley? What you thinking? What are you going to tell that sophomore trying to fill your shoes?
I would tell them to smile, because I'm always told that I don't smile enough when I'm playing, so it doesn't look like I'm having fun. So remember, have fun, even though pitching takes a lot of work. It's a big part of the game. You have to have fun, and also do it your way. Don't try and be someone else. Be you, and it'll be great. You'll work out.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it a little bit on the side. I think that's one thing we learned. It's not that big a deal. If we put our heart and soul into it, the results will come. And if we didn't learn that from that summer, we'll never learn it. But I was super proud of you, Riley. I mean, you pitched so many big games for us. Oh, my goodness. You're going to keep doing it. Sid, talk to your 7th grade Sid. That kid was...
Oh, gosh. Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Can you talk to that 7th grader?
I wish I could have told her to mature sooner, but I realized that I was a 7th grader, so I wasn't fully there yet, I guess I could say. I didn't realize how much commitment went into this, but I also wish I could have told her to just slow down. I think I wanted to rush the process, and I saw all those kids committing at young ages and thinking that I had to do so much for this sport, when really all I had to do was just slow down and play the game. I think that's what I would want to tell them. Just have fun and enjoy it, because like Macy said, this isn't a full life thing. I only have this year and then my 4 years in college, and then I'm done. So just enjoy it while you can, that they have a lot of time, and just enjoy your teammates, trust your teammates, and just, like I said earlier, I want them to make everyone around them better.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I cannot wait to see you guys in college. It's been a blast watching you guys tear it up in high school this year. And, I'm always going to remember that summer of 2020, the FTT team. I'll never forget you guys.
I've told you this when we were going through it. There's no other team that I would want to take through the COVID experience. I think it was a special year with a special set of families, special set of coaches. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the way. I know every college is super excited to have you because you've earned it. I mean, think about it, right? Nothing was given, it was earned. And, for me, I always, the only regret I had is I felt we could win a national championship if we had the opportunity. But I think we won anyway. We won in our own way. And, I'll love you guys forever. You know that. Yeah, no, I think there's one day, I think it was a Saturday, we played real well that day. And I think we had games start at 8 in the morning and we were done at 11:30 at night. You always complained or said that you were there longer than me because you'd go to warm-ups. You know how it was. Ed shows up 5 minutes before first pitch.
I had to get there and set up the AGL. And
I texted you our starting lineup, so I got that done. But yeah, I had to go get something to drink, something to eat, because I knew I was going to be in a tough window.
Yeah, top club. That was back-to-back 18-hour shifts.
That was a run. And I always remember Jade was interviewing Cassie Passwaters, who had a big hit that day to put us over the top and win that game. And I didn't mean it, but I think the girls were scared for a while. They're like, uh-oh, he's down. But I was just down and tired. And but I can't imagine how tired they were. But to me, we were fulfilling our promise.
Yeah, no question.
That was our commitment to them, is that whatever it took. And I'm proud of this roster. I'm proud of the kids, all the results they've achieved and what they're going to do in the future, honestly. I mean, they're a special set of kids, and I'm just happy we did something for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. And it was fun. I mean, those are some lifelong memories that I know you and I had, and hopefully the class of 22 and 22 feels the same way.
Yeah, no, if we I'll always remember that team. I'll always remember, because I thought we cherished every moment together. Literally, we didn't know if we were going to get to play. And there was challenges week to week that we had to overcome. And we didn't know how it was all going to shake out. You got to remember, this class was the one class that got restricted in terms of early recruiting. All of them were good enough. All of them were talented enough. And in an earlier environment, in an earlier year, they would have all been committed. But not this time. Not this time. They had to wait 2.5, 3+ years to find out what school they could potentially play for. And if even anyone was interested. And to me, that's why this class, they deserve it. I mean, and the parents too. I don't think we can underscore how great they've been.
It was a fantastic group for sure. They were as accommodating as you could ever ask for. We've been doing this for a long time. We've had a lot of variations of
some good, bad, and in between.
For sure. But they were fantastic. Not everything was always perfect.
Oh, hell no.
But they supported us 100%. With our one team, one goal effort. And when we said all hands on deck, they were right there ready to get their hands dirty right there with us.
And I believe that well as well. I think one team, one program, we had that from the coaching staff. If you think about it, I mean, that team of coaches, they dug in. They dug in, and whatever it took. And Ryan Allen always, he was the first to leave our game to get the next team ready.
Yes, he was.
He was the first to leave and go. And Ken Stoker was with us during this trip, and I think that was another person who, whatever it takes, right? Whatever it took. And I think, we need to obviously be really true to the folks that dug in. And then just a minute, we can talk about, we had a couple big additions to the staff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We were rolling a little bit. And then you said, we got a chance to add a couple people.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, Doug and Maribeth Gorsuch were just absolutely paramount to the success that we had that summer. I think, like you said, we were rolling.
We were doing okay.
That was a good team, and they believed in what we were doing, and we were doing really well. And, Doug and I had been friends for almost 20 years at this point. And our kids came up together, in the early years of select ball. They ended up playing in the same district in high school. So that was my buddy. That was the guy I sat next to at high school games. That was the guy I hung out with in between games when, he was over with another club. And so we were always talking over the summer, and he seemed to get really, really interested. It was at Top Club.
Right.
And he just started asking me a lot of questions about what we're doing. And I said, man, call me during the week and, let's talk. And, so he gave me a call and we talked, and obviously I talked to you. I was like, I think we got a shot here, and Doug came in and brought Maribeth, and I'll never forget that first practice. It was out there at the Z-Plex in Melissa.
There we go.
And Megan Denny was out there, right? And but I remember Doug and Maribeth, they just hit the ground running.
Sure.
I mean, they took
that's their position group.
Yeah, they took the pitchers and catchers, and they started right there from day one, and completely changed how we were doing things in a positive way.
No, I think Doug was amazing, and I think for me, when you told me he might be interested, then he calls me, right? And I'm like, I don't really, I know Doug, I know him socially. He was on the different sideline. He was a competitor. I obviously had utmost respect for Doug, but we talked, and he'd ask me, how's it going to work out? Because you guys are doing some good things. And I told him, I said, Doug, you are the perfect fit. You have tools and capabilities that honestly we don't have. You know what it takes to get a pitcher ready to go to the next level. We will train them and develop them, but you have insight in terms of pitching that we don't have. And I'm big enough to say that, and I believe that. And over time, after a couple of conversations, I felt like, hey, I didn't mess that up. He might come. And then one night he called me, and he didn't tell me, the son of a gun. So he tells me, he's on the phone. He's like, Ed. I'm like, yeah, Doug, what's up? Ed. I'm like, seriously, ask a question. Ed, tell Maribeth how you guys call pitches. And I'm like, here it goes. I said, we have the catchers call pitches. And they both start laughing. And then they're like, what? How's the transition? I said, there is no transition. We have a pitching group and a catching group. They're yours. And from that point forward, I thought our kids really responded to it. We were seamless. It's like, just on to the next page. Let's keep on rolling.
Yeah, and it was great to see, because they truly revolutionized how we were doing things. I mean, seeing the catchers and the pitchers huddled around Doug and his metal clipboard, and those kids learned how to chart. Yes. I mean, they were doing things that they may never have gotten to do until they got to college, maybe never at all. They were phenomenal. Definitely missed Doug, and Maribeth is obviously continuing, having a great career.
Another part of the story, right?
Yeah. I mean, Maribeth's assistant coach at Grand Canyon University.
And Doug would be. Doug's still proud.
Oh man, yeah. He's he was definitely everything that he could have ever wanted for her, for sure.
For me, it's really about, when I think about Doug, I just think about the fun moments we had. What was your favorite moment with him? Or things that you enjoyed doing with him that season?
Honestly, it was just great to have a guy that I'd been friends with for so long in the dugout with me. I mean, we had literally been coaching against each other, for our daughter's entire life.
That's true.
But we were friends. I mean,
that was odd.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of one of those things that worked out where you just become friends with somebody that's always on the other side of things.
That's not normal for me.
Yeah, no, not at all. Definitely not normal for it to go in that direction either. We don't, bring the guys from the other side over here. They normally go the other way.
There's a little bit of that.
We called it the Gorsuch Effect. Remember?
That's right.
I'd even started working on a pitch charting application for him to do things electronically that he was doing on his metal clipboard. And a side note, a funny story about his metal clipboard. There's a reason why he had that thing.
Because he throws it.
No, that was his protection. He would sit on the bucket and he would chart on that metal clipboard. And I mean, this thing was like a steel book. But if you looked on the other side of it, it had these dents in it. And he didn't want to move, and he would always say, I'm too old to do jumping off of buckets. So he would just, protect himself with the clipboard. And, he said he had a regular clipboard and, ball went right through it one time. So he said, I got to go. He
upgraded it.
Yeah. Got to go out and get something that can stop that. So that's the story behind that metal clipboard. But yeah, the Gorsuch Effect, I love that. Honestly, just watching him in his element, and watching the girls, buy in from day one.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing that. You look at Savannah Williams, Sage Hoover, Skylar Savage, he had a different effect on each of them. And we'll see it with Riley Crandall and obviously Alex Aguilar. And you keep going down the list, right? But those are the kids. We had a 5-pitcher rotation and 2 teams. And we rotated them. They pitched every game for either team. And I love the inter-squad games. He'd always go rally the troops on the other side and it's like, this is the time. This time we're gonna beat them this time. And he was ruthless. Balls and strikes. Dude, his kids got every pitch. Our guys, they better swing the bat when Gorsuch is calling pitches because we're getting no love. And it made us better. And he would fight. And I think we saw that, as he went through the paces with the pitching staff, making sure they were prepared. And I thought, what an opportunity with Maribeth as well, just, coaching all of them. And making sure that each team had success and that each pitcher had success. And that was unique. Because like I said, we only had 5 pitchers. And if we're playing 7 games, we had a rotation and kids would pitch on both rosters because we had the flexibility to do that. And I think we really benefited from that. And our kids, look at them now. The summer of 2020, I don't think we can fully tell the story without the 21s. Yeah. You start looking at the pitchers, you start looking at Lauren Garcia, Savannah White, Sierra Simon. What did they do?
Yeah, and and it's great. I know all of us coaches follow these kids well beyond the club ball years. Ed and I were actually just out watching Skylar and Sierra at UNT. Who were part of that team. And speaking of Doug, I think watching these kids, I see a little bit of Doug in those kids when they're out there. They're different than when they came and played for us, and they're different from when Doug showed up.
Yeah, I think any of us who've gone through that experience, I think it makes us better. And, for me, I've always, as a coach, tried to make sure to the best of our ability that we had a productive year for our players. But that year really underlined it. Were we doing everything we could? And, we all are competitive. We want to win. But it created balance. It created balance. And I think we saw the benefits. And I think Doug enjoyed it too. Because Doug had, he learned a lot coming to us.
Yeah, it honestly, that entire experience, I think, took all of us out of our element, right? I didn't say, in 2019, hey, Ed, can I come help you, with your team so that I can run AGL and figure out social media and all of this stuff. And I think, Doug and Maribeth really lifted a lot of burdens for us in, being able to shepherd the entire pitching and catching staff and do the things that they did.
That's right.
And that really allowed us to be able to
do more,
to go off and do the things that were honestly required to be able to make that even, be remotely close to having success.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us on episode 1 of In the Box. If you like what you saw or you got any ideas for a future episode, be sure to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, turn on your notifications so you can get alerts for our next episode.
Love that. Like what you saw, like us. Hit subscribe, then you'll like us more. Love you.